Okay, so this is the first podcast in coming up on almost 9 years. There was a previous series called the Halo Montagers podcast. I am no longer going to call it that because I would like to have this consist of other material besides just montages, but is still Halo focused. So, whatever the title you're seeing now in this YouTube video is what you will be seeing moving forward. Today, I am hosting as usual, and I have two other people with me. There is Altruvas and Broey. You've probably heard of both of them. I will also have their content linked in the description. The first talking point I'm going to bring up is what you feel people get out of montaging in a personal sense. And I want to be specific when I say montaging, I mean the aspect of playing the game to get clips, not editing. So, which one of you would like to start?
Boy.
It's like a personal drive too.
Yeah, like what, despite how shitty it is to montage nowadays, why do you continue to do it? What made you decide you wanted to start doing it?
I just think it's just like fun to make shit. Just like constantly making like new ideas, I think is really fun because it's like all these things have been around for like this time and we're still finding new shit after all this time, you know? I think that's really cool.
Okay, so when you're saying finding and making new shit, when you started montaging, was your incentive to make a montage, or were you just like, oh, I want to get clips because, a high multi-kill is cool? Or was it specifically, I saw edited montages and I want to make that?
Starting out, I really liked how Alive Dinosaur, I liked how his gameplay was. It was different, unorthodox for Halo 5 specifically. I transitioned that into like other ways, just playing the game weirdly. I feel like,
Inspired.
yeah, just like finding different things, and that ended up turning into more a fun-tagey thing and finding cool things to do in Halo Infinite. That it's a shame the game fucking sucks, but finding cool stuff in that I feel like really rooted down to me originally being inspired by him because I really liked just playing differently, presenting gameplay a lot differently, clips being way differently. You could be bad at a game or be subpar and you could still really do cool shit.
For you, Broey, I guess we'll start with the same avenue of what got you started with sticking to montaging as a thing.
I remember, I think it was around 2015, 2016, I literally was just watching Campy, and mainly Campy at the time. It wasn't really like any other montagers until I started to kind of branch out more. And his like style of videos, I didn't really watch his like montages at the time, but I watched like his like live commentaries while he was playing, and like he was hitting clips live. And then it sort of branched into watching montages from there. And I always thought that was really cool. I wanted to strive getting better at that. And then I branched out even more and found more people in the community that inspired me. Obviously, Bo, there's Remy, there's Chris, obviously Chris. I'm pretty static of what I like try to go for, but I always have like enjoyed going for something that's very moderately flashy, like I suppose. Like it's a very relatively clean clip.
Also, when you say that you would watch Campy and his live commentaries, did you also watch his stream often or just YouTube?
Not really his stream that often, though. I would usually watch his YouTube. I caught his stream right as the man was about to leave, I'm afraid.
Okay. Well, a lot of people I know got introduced to other montagers through Campy's stream because they'd all be there in his chat. It was
Yeah.
like the collective gathering ground. How did you end up meeting other people through that then, if it was just YouTube that you interfaced with?
I didn't really meet a lot of people that I know now till I want to say like 2018, because there was a bit of a dry period where I stopped trying to montage. Then I try to come back to it again. I was a bit more confident because I was starting to learn how to properly edit at the time. And then I started to meet more people from doing a community montage, I believe, at the time. Like, that's how I met Milky, other people I've worked with, like Frost, Kirby, stuff like that. Occasionally, like, I would maybe interact in Campy's chat, but it wasn't really, like, that often.
I was just curious on that. Now, for the other half of the question, you've explained what got you into it. Why do you still montage, though, given the fact that there are so few left circumstantially and that it's just not a good experience nowadays? Why do you still decide, I want to hop on and go for clips?
Well, the true answer is I'm addicted. But realistically, that is probably the true answer. But honestly, like, whenever you do have, like, that day where you'll have a really shitty day Tajing for multiple hours on end, and you will probably get nothing that you're
Yeah.
happy with. You'll have the one clip where you're like, all right, I'm satisfied and happy, got what I wanted. Because honestly, I will play Halo because like I do overall like the game. I'll always go ranting on about how I fucking say I hate the game, but I really do like the game. Most of the time I play multiplayer, I'm like there just to get a clip. And when I do get a clip, I'm a happy boy.
Now, what about you, Alt?
I think what I said kind of still stands up. Well, to add on with what Broey said, like you also have this day where you just getting really lucky and just hit really good stuff in just a single day too. That also happened. But like with what I said earlier, how my earlier point still kind of stands up. It's like still finding new shit to do. It's like whenever I started playing Infinite a lot last summer, basically, I wanted to find cool stuff to do because I was planning to make Schopenhauer. I wanted to present Infinite in a way where, as it's been shown, I found stuff you could do with Goose, launching, ways to launch, other glitches. It's just still finding new shit. It's nothing about like, oh, I hate this game. It's a terrible state. It's like I don't really care what state's in, as long as it's fun. I don't really care.
I say that because the terrible state is what makes some people not have fun playing the game.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, I'm one of those people that have been driven away from the game because of it.
There's no strive really anymore because, well, I mean, Halo's obviously in a probably the most dire situation it's ever been. There is still like the passion, like from some people where they like really still like to make this kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I think there's like even still today, like Chiyoko literally just came out recently, and there's still people making phenomenal videos, and Most Dangerous Game is still in the works. It's like there's still very big, ambitious projects still in the works years later after
Yeah.
this dead fucking game is not doing great. We're still doing stuff here.
Yeah, and we'll circle back on that later, but I do want to bring up how both of you actually presented a point. I've heard from multiple other people too that montaging is almost like winning the lottery in a way, and they say that they're addicted to it because they keep going for it and they're like, "Oh dude, I fucking hate this," you know. And then eventually they get that clip and they're like, "All is okay. I hit a main. We're good," you know, and they
Yeah, your
ride
time
on that.
feels validated.
Yeah, they ride on that for the next 2 weeks, regardless of any level of sunk cost fallacy. And then they go back to it and they're like, oh, I fucking hate this, you know? And I avoid that entirely. Like, you guys know, I haven't touched Halo matchmaking in a matter of years.
Years.
And
Yeah.
most I do is just like play 1v1s and occasionally custom games because I just don't care for it anymore. Like, the state of Halo is not appealing to me. I don't care to force myself through it to get the occasional clip that I'm satisfied with, especially because I've never been super satisfied with my own gameplay, not even as a comparative sense. I know a lot of people do that where they look at everyone else's standards and like, oh, I have to match or exceed that. But for me, I just don't care much because I think of the way I evolved into montaging was a little different. I originally didn't have any montages that I watched or any montagers I knew. I just kind of started clipping because it was another thing to try doing. Because I've gone through just about everything you could think of involved with Halo. And in terms of matchmaking, I'd settled on, all right, I'm kind of done with competitive gameplay. I'm going to play social and just see what I can do, whether that involved like creative clips or just high multi-kills. And when that got uninteresting because newer Halo games that I disliked came out or the population was dying or whatever it may have been, I just stopped doing it. So I don't really care to play the lottery, I suppose. And I'm not the only one. Obviously, other montagers have stopped playing or they had a threshold where they're like, I can't keep playing the lottery. But it feels like almost everyone that's still playing has that mentality.
You get on for the one, and then you're off for about maybe a week or just a couple days, or even maybe till tomorrow, if you have that kind of time.
Yeah. And I will say there are definitely exceptions. I know some people are just grinding almost daily. And I don't
Oh yeah.
know what their motivation is. I'm actually kind of curious what it may be, if it really still interests them that much. But quite honestly, my perspective of those people, from what I know of them, is that they don't actually care about a lot of the clips they even get. So then I wonder, why are they still doing it? Unfortunately, though, they're not on this podcast today. So maybe they'll comment below and tell me. You may know who I'm referring to if you're listening now.
I would assume like maybe like they just are kind of in a similar boat where they just find it satisfying. Although like Yeah, like they probably just have a lot of footage at the point where they kind of do start need to get like rid of it.
Yeah, like I feel like they hit a clip and they don't care though. That's the part that makes me wonder. It's like they
And they can do a clip dump with those things.
no, some don't even do clip dumps. It's like they're just sitting on a mountain of gameplay.
They might have like other plans for it that they just don't really know, but like I don't know. It's not really my answer, I guess. It's not really
Yeah.
like something I would really like answer on their behalf.
Yeah, I know that. That's why I'm curious. That's why I
Yeah.
would like if you feel like you're in the situation I've described. I'd like to see in the comments what your reasoning is for that. I'm gonna give you almost the same question, but in the perspective of editing. So, Broey, when you started editing, you mentioned that was kind of tied with your start to montaging. But what really got you started editing? Like, how did you discover? Oh, this is the software I'm gonna use. This person maybe got me into editing, or this is the first video that I watched and maybe decide I want to make something like that.
I could probably name you the first video that really got me into editing, and it's probably a predictable video if people have actually even seen my content, but Campy Apple Halo 5 Dualtage. That was probably the one that got me really wanting to like learn how to edit properly. In terms of software, I didn't really know much at the time because I was a 16-year-old kid not knowing how the fuck to do any of this shit at the time. I got like Sony Vegas up and running, started messing with it. But even before that, I was messing with stuff like Xbox's Upload Studio.
Oh yeah. That's
Yeah,
what your
which
first video's
was
in, actually.
yeah,
Now, this is the part I'm wondering is yes, you settled on Vegas, like seemingly 90% of the people that edit Halo montages.
yeah.
But how did you discover, oh, Vegas is the tool to use? I always wonder how people end up coming across that as the decided tool.
There wasn't really like a this is it, this is the one that I want to use. There wasn't like anything like that to me. It was like I used Upload Studio and then used Movie Maker because I was an idiot.
No, dude, so many people used Movie Maker back in the day because that was like their first tool, back before Xbox had a DVR studio.
Yeah, I made a few things in Movie Maker. They were not very good by any stretch, and then I found Vegas, and then I was like, "Yeah, I'll settle with this." I wasn't even
Vegas
thinking
found
with the
you.
mindset where like other people were using it. I was like, I just like the way it feels, and even then, I wasn't really experienced or knew much about it at the time. I was just like, "Yeah, I'll use it," and I used that for 8 years, I believe, and then I made the committed move to Resolve like about 2 years ago at this point.
So you actually like discovered Vegas on your own. No one was like, "Hey, I've been editing in this," and then
Yeah,
okay, that's the part I was curious about. It's like, how do you just stumble across it?
yeah. I never actually like looked into other people's montage at the time. That's actually something that you probably wouldn't really believe from me, but I'm not like the most avid watcher of montagers because like I definitely will like watch anything recent that comes out as much as I can. But like I'm pretty bad when it comes to like history of stuff to do with that because like I guess Hein is a good example. Like even just Campy as like himself. Like he was the one that got me into montaging. Like watching like those recent videos at the time anyway. Watching that stuff, like I didn't see Apex till years later.
So it's kind of like when you hear a pop song on the radio, you're like, "Oh, I like this song," and then you listen to their discography a couple years down the line.
Basically that, yeah.
Okay.
It kind of just follows suit with like other Tajers too. Like obviously Hyena, that's one of them. Pooba as well. Like I didn't really know about Pooba till the medley came out. So yeah, that's like how like bad I was with history of the Taj at the time. But then I went back through everything he's made. I was like, oh my god, this is like so ahead of its time in my eyes. And he became a big inspiration once I watched that and Alice, of course. Those are two big ones. Could also go on about Howard, Zestol, Double A, even Mr. Execrated here. Watch a lot of his videos over the years.
Tragic.
No, but yeah, like I got to edit with Vegas. Didn't really know my way around it, so I would just do like the pretty normal thing and just look up a lot of YouTube tutorials. I had to eventually get a flow and learning how to sync. And that became, I guess, my big thing was just trying to sync everything when it came to editing. Because I don't know why, like audio feedback that's just like synced up to everything to me is like very satisfying. That's something I always try to strive with whenever I make a video nowadays, or just like ever since I learned how to properly do that.
Which I think there's nothing wrong with focusing on that. I mean, the whole point of a fundamental approach to a montage is you are syncing your visuals to audio, whether it's just the song or it's actually including audio. You know, you're just enhancing upon the bare minimum of here's the shots, here's the music, line it up. I mean, if you didn't sync at all, then you arguably couldn't even call it a montage.
Yeah, it would be more of a lower like effort video or like a highlight video if that was the case. Which I try to do every once in a while, but it's not really something I'll do too often. Like if I'm feeling like putting out a video in a day, then that'll usually be a highlight video for me.
Yeah, I can't just not sync a video. There's only one video ever that I've not synced, and it was specifically by request. And even then, I tried to sync like random transients in the audio that I was given to work with as an attempt of syncing, but that's like the best I could do because there was no music. What about for you, Alt?
My first video was for Felix. I I had Broey reach out to Felix 'cause I didn't really know how to like speak to him about it. I just really wanted to like I planned on to make like bigger videos, but I wanted that one video to kind of kickstart how I want to edit. I was just trying to learn much as I could of out of that one video, which I think I did because I initially with my first couple videos I had scraps of Halo 5 gameplay with Broys and Milkies. I was originally thinking using splits. I was not even using retime scaling.
To be fair, that was my workflow when I used Vegas.
Same here, actually.
Because velocity curves are completely almost opposite to how
Resolve retime.
yeah, because with resolve retime, it's very much based on creating points on the shot and then interpolating in between. Whereas velocity, you almost had to do the opposite, where you had the curve be at a certain point when the shot was taking place. And I hated that workflow. So I always just went with split, stretch, retime, and then, line it up with my sync points, which I still do with Resolve to this day, but I no longer have to split the clip to do that because Vegas didn't have retime curves outside of velocity. Maybe it does nowadays, I'm not sure, but you also mentioned Felix's video as your example. However, that wasn't your first one because you said you scrapped stuff first. So what was your first scrap? And when did you decide, oh, I'm actually going to work on this? Did you approach someone else or did they ask you to start working on it?
Maybe end of 2022 to beginning of 2023. I played a lot of 1v1s with Broey, like basically almost like every day Halo 5 ones on the head-to-head maps. I just had a bunch of stockpile clips that I just wanted to do something with, and I started a video, and I don't really know why I stopped. I think I just stopped because I just wasn't really happy with it, and I wanted something better to like learn instead of just like these clips that are basically all on the same map. Essentially, it's just like I want to work with something more realistic, I guess. After that, I had another scrap, which is in my unlisted playlist. That was after that one, and I just tried to work with angles, and that's when I had my Xbox still, and I wanted to incorporate angles, and that stopped because I I did not like opening my Xbox every single time I needed to do an angle, so
Ain't that the truth?
Now I'm going to ask you, what has kept you continuing to edit?
like I never really had the chance to have that one big video that I've always wanted to do, and I obviously haven't been around for very long, so now I have the chance and the experience to actually do that. I just know all these people that could help me with gameplay if I ever want to make a video, and well, that's happening now because I have Schopenhauer happening, which is like 15 players now. Other things that keep me going for montaging's sake, it's like other shit is still going on. If like all these people that've been around for like all this time, I could still do something new. I guess it's like people are still making shit. I mean, like look at one example, Rukio. Rukio has been around for quite some time, or Blackhawk even. Blackhawk's been around for ages, and he's still making videos. Could do them if I want.
Yeah, despite the position the game is in, it's not really as long as there's people still around to do like the content that they want to do, like that is technically never gonna die.
And that's true for a collective whole, but I mostly mean for you individually. So, like you, Broey, I'm actually going to rephrase the question slightly differently for you because you've been doing this longer. Aside from just a matter of motivation in a very vague sense, what value do you pull from being able to continue editing to this day? Like, what do you seek to get back out of the process of making a video?
I mean, I could just go with like the small answer. It's like the love of the game. 343 has put out a lot of bad Halo games, to put it lightly. But like, even still, I do get enjoyment out of playing and getting clips in them, and then putting them clips together into a pretty polished to get like put together video. Putting that out and like watching it back, like I'll just enjoy seeing what I've made and just getting like
That
top
satisfaction.
the satisfaction, yeah. And like seeing people like a collective also kind of doing the same thing will comment on it, and like those are always the best moments where like people will point out like the specifics of what you're doing in a video. Like that always like pushes me to like try more if I can, just try more unique stuff in a video if I'm able to.
That kind of lines up with the notes that I had on here. I was curious if you would both kind of come across that, where two things I had preemptively entered were validation and learning were probably two of the biggest factors on why people still edit. Now, I don't know if that's universally true. I don't actually get validation from editing, and I think that's likely not common. I do it almost exclusively for the sake of learning and being able to teach others. I mean, you already know I probably spend more time answering your guys' questions than actually editing myself.
Absolutely.
So that's just how it is. But I'm okay with that because I don't actually care about my own videos. Really, my final push is an endeavor to get my SSD cleared of Halo footage and then be done with it. I'm not like seeking to make some grand final video like a lot of people are, or I don't really care to get more gameplay to continue the process. I'm looking to be done.
That's the thing to me. Like what you just said, there's also like a secondary thing to me. Like I have like 4 SSDs and like another hard drive that's about 2 TB. They are cooked in terms of storage. And a lot of that is literally Halo gameplay. So like that is part of the reason why I'll occasionally like have a weekly dump of just random clips just because I need to just get that shit off my computer. I just delete it immediately. In terms of like making one big final video, like I would say two in the works. One in particular, yeah, Halo 5 Montage 1, that's been literally like teased to death like multiple times over like the last God knows how many years, like 7 to 8 years. That was like to me at one point like the final video. Like this is the one I'm making this, never making one again. But like I feel like it's always like a retreaded mistake. Like people always say they'll make a final video and then they'll come back maybe a couple months to a year later and like just make a new video again. It's like I don't really want to just make a final or like an ending. I just like I'll end whenever like it happens.
Yeah, like Bo's died like like 5 times
How
in his
many times?
videos.
Yeah. And the good old Ishi fucking multiple finals, the final video. Like we thought like whatever it was at the time was the final. He had
M8, I
M8
think
and
it
then
was.
M9 and then he's now had M10 like a couple years back. It'll never end, man.
Well, I think it finally has.
Has probably has for him now, yeah, but like it also kind of ended because like he stopped. Pretty sure he still made like a couple videos after that, but like that was like the last like main video I guess for him.
Speaking of stopping, this episode will be split into two portions, and this one is ending here. There are other podcasts planned. I have two other ones actually mapped out on subject matter, but for anyone in the comments, I would greatly appreciate both feedback and suggestions, both on who you would like to see on here and what you would like them to talk about. And we'll see whenever the next one comes out.